Okay, let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th at Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society golf outing on the 31st, and also I got yours on the 18th, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Oh, boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great calls.
I mean, this
Okay,
is...
hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
He always...
Hey guys, thanks for coming so fast. How are ya?
Remember you guys from Randy Wise, right? Sir. The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Watch for the eye.
Stay tuned.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports. And some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Maybe.
Hey, let's go. Wednesday show, May 31st, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live. If you are not, we say hello to you as well. Whenever you are watching, however you are watching, welcome in. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, Ryan, Maz, Mike, as well as Parker and JB. I'm extremely excited today. Last night, finally, after been waiting for this for, it seems like 6 months or so, the American Gladiator episode 1 was out on ESPN. So I watched that yesterday.
Little Nitro action.
Hey man, well, Nitro wasn't a part of it.
What?
He's not a part
How
of it.
do you do an American Gladiator series and not have Nitro a part of it?
I don't want to give it away. Let's just
Is
say
he dead? He's dead, actually, isn't
yeah,
he?
but then
That's how.
No, that's not.
Damn.
That's not exactly it. But Tom Mazawey, who I know is not a necessarily fan of American Gladiator, nor is he wrestling. I understand. But it was great because it was our childhood, Ryan and Mike. I'm a little younger than you, but it's the same wheelhouse.
Absolutely.
We're for the same wheelhouse, man. It was that wrestling era, that crossover 80s, 90s, MTV, VH1, and I believe it was exciting, man. Thinking back, some of the funnest moments. Saturday, watching American Gladiators, this stuff was real, man. It was like watching the average human being go against these gladiators that were larger than life and actually have some success. It was fun to watch.
Oh, man, the little Mike Adamle and Larry Zonka action.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, man, I remember that. It was Saturday mornings. Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you, my friend. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, guys. Welcome in on a Wednesday, midweek already. Let's get this week over with and get to the weekend, right? I wasn't a huge American Gladiators fan, but I did watch it. I'll watch these 30 for 30s because they're so well done, and I like learning.
How was bowling last night, man? A little turkey action, a little four-bagger?
At one point, I almost texted you my score. I showed you I had 6 in a row at one point.
You did?
So two turkeys,
one four-bagger.
2 turkeys and 1 four-bagger with a double. I didn't bowl great. I shot just under 600 for 3 games. We won, so that's all that matters to me.
Put a couple of bucks in your pocket?
No, I didn't put any money in my pocket. We didn't win any money. But guess, it's going to be a hard guess for you guys. But there were a couple of ex-Tigers bowling last night on lane 19 and 20.
Dave Rosema.
Rosie is one. Rosie is one, and I have a story for you on this. Who is he with?
Rosie was with...
You're going to be surprised.
Not Peaches. Not Peaches,
no,
Dan
Peaches
Petrie.
was on the TV last night.
Gibby?
Gibby.
Really?
Yes, and a bunch of their friends. And they were just having a good time and rolling down. I went down, said hello to him. I tell you, Gibby throws a good ball.
Really?
Still, God bless him, man. What an athlete. What a man he is.
That's
and Rosie
great.
is a great bowler.
Michigan State didn't get everything wrong.
Isn't that something?
They got Kirk Gibson wrong.
Isn't that something?
They got Kirk Gibson.
So, yeah, we got to see Rosie and Gibby last night. Gibby now.
Were they happy to see you?
Yeah.
That means no.
Not really.
No?
Not really. Rosie, Rosie's happy to see everybody.
Rosie's great.
I kind of left Gibby alone. I said, "Hey, Gibbs, nice to see you." That's it. I didn't want to bother him.
Oh, that's great, man.
And my good friend Joe Conflitti threw a 300 game last night.
Conflitti did?
Yep, Joey Conflitti.
Oh my God!
I love Joey.
Conflitti.
He's the man.
That's awesome.
Joe Conflitti with the 300.
300, and then the guy next to us and the guy next to us threw a 300. I don't really know him. His name was Scott. So we had 2 300s surrounding
side.
our 2 lanes.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
What was your big game last night? About 235?
No,
You tapered-
209.
With 6 strikes, you tapered off?
Yep.
Ouch.
Did you get the money bag or the money ball?
No money ball.
No money ball.
No strike
last
ball
night?
last
Oh,
night.
no strike ball.
Right, no strike ball.
Oh man.
I sucked last night.
Oh man, not the first time, Tom
Not the
Mazawey.
first. Definitely not the last.
That's a hell of a drop in considering how the conversation started before
Dynamite drop in money.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here. Bray, a
tell.
lot going. I gotta ask.
Yeah.
First of all, I was thinking. I know the Tigers are on right now. If you're watching live, being outside in this weather, I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about the weather all year around, but 90 degrees does nothing for me. I do not, unless I'm out on Lake St. Clair or something like that, or you're at a party or at the pool. Great. I don't want to be out there in the 90-degree heat.
Talking to you about the weather does nothing for me right now because I
Oh,
wasn't
man.
done talking about the American Gladiators. You just
I
cut
had
my
no
story
idea.
off.
I had no
Jeez
idea.
Louise.
Give me more American Gladiators.
My God. No, I'm just joking.
They like the heat.
No, I hate it hot outside. Like literally,
Damn.
I hate it hot outside. I agree with you on that. That lake effect in Michigan. I try to explain to people from Florida, people from California, Texas, when we talk about heat. You guys don't know heat. I said I've played in everywhere. I've lived in Florida for years. That lake effect in Detroit or Michigan metropolitan area is real. That's why I golf in the mornings and I stay inside till nighttime.
Oh man,
I hate the heat, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, I'm not a heat guy.
Yeah, I'm not a heat guy. Unless
I'm going in the pool.
Yeah, there you go. And even the pool is like.
Yeah, I'd rather just be. I'm an ocean
You got
guy.
a pool guy. You got a pool though.
I have
at
a
the
pool,
house.
but it's not the same as like
Yeah.
living right by a beach.
Of course
I'm
it's not.
I'm a beach bum.
But still.
I really am. Matter of fact, I'm wearing my Ron John surf shop tie.
Okay.
On the back, it's got where I went, of course, Long Beach
A
Island,
little bait and
Jersey.
tackle.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, this is surf.
Oh, surf. Excuse
Yeah,
me. I'm
it's
sorry.
okay.
Surf. I didn't hear it.
Sorry.
Guys, we begin the show today with a little breaking news on the Detroit Tigers. We know about Eduardo Rodriguez and the fact that he was placed on the 15-day IL. Well, not.
I like the DL.
Yeah, I do like the DL as well. But the Tigers placed
me.
Riley Green on the 10-day injured list, but he is out indefinitely with a stress fracture in his left fibula. He is not going to be back anytime soon. I think it's devastating for this team that this player is out. He's the most exciting player that the Tigers have. He is the best player the Tigers have. He is the best hope the Tigers have at turning this thing around quickly. And he gives people a reason to go to the ballpark. I believe he had the most hits of any American League player in the month of May.
His ops was
It's
amazing.
just devastating to this team, and I hate it for him. He was injured last year, much of the year. He's injured this year. Just a really devastating situation, I think, for these Tigers.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna come with before I go to Maz. It has probably a little bit more in depth. Is I remember last year him being hurt and us having to go make a deal to bring in someone else, and then the whole time he was out, is he gonna be back? We were expecting a certain thing from Riley Green, and then when he got back, we tried to rush for him to be that certain thing. And last year really was an up and down year for him, mostly due to injury. Then this year, you start off, you talk about where the Detroit Tigers are 2 games back from first place, 1 game back a couple days ago, and just been fighting right now with AL Central, have a real good shot. And then Riley Green gets injured, and he's going to be injured for some time. It's just not what you want to hear out of a team that's straggling, they're fighting and they're clawing, and they're giving us actually everything that we've asked for. It's not good to have your number one guy out like that, especially after the month he's had in May.
He's been terrific. And remember Lynn Henning was on last year with us, and he told us this guy is the best guy to ever come up from the minors since Al Kaline. That's what he told us. And we were all like, come on, Len, really? But it shows. And this guy is really hitting his stride now, and it really is a bad blow to this team. And it's a bad blow to him. And now you start asking yourself, is he always going to be getting injured? Is he, I don't know, is he injury prone? It sucks, man. But that's a bad injury.
That's a great question you asked, Tom, and I thought about that. And this is what I'm going to say about the injuries to Riley Green. This dude plays hard. This dude plays so hard. He plays max effort every single pitch.
Yeah.
Every ball hit to him, every pitch thrown to him. The dude plays baseball about as hard as you possibly can. And if he gets hurt because he plays that hard, I'm cool with it. I mean, I am totally fine. This guy got hurt because he's giving it his all. He's not running and just tweaks something. That, to me, is injury prone. When you play as hard as you can and something happens, well, then God bless you. I'm sorry. It sucks. It sucks for him. It sucks for the Tigers. It sucks for this fan base. But I would not put injury prone on this guy. It's not like he's running the bases and tweaks an ankle and breaks an ankle and is out. I mean, this guy just plays so hard and a little bit like Kirk Gibson, but better. You know, you mentioned Gibby. Gibby played so hard out there, so rough out there. It reminds me of, Riley Green reminds me of that. And
great outfielder.
And I would not stop him. I wouldn't say, hey, take a little bit off here, Riley. I mean, it's just how he plays, and I'm here for it. I'd be totally fine with it. Hopefully he heals up quickly and comes back and continues to play hard.
I'd be careful when you say it's better than Mr. 1984. That's all I'm saying.
I think he's better than Kirk Gibson.
That remains to be seen. Kirk Gibson won the World Series for us, so right now he has to still go out there and prove that. But the one thing that is good about Riley Green is last year you were nervous because so much was put on him. The comments, what people were talking about, the people that saw him, AAA, AA, the minors come up, the people that knew what he can do, and then he gets injured. We didn't see it yet. We were trying to see it. When he comes back, he's still struggling. A lot of people are putting a lot on him. He's trying to live up to that. Well, this year he proved that he could do that. He proved that he was that good. He showed where he could be. He showed the optimism, what people had for him last year. You saw the month of May. You saw how well he hit. You saw how well his on-base percentage was. So now that he knows he can do that, I think they're coming back this time around from this injury. He's not worried about the perception of what can he be. Is he going to be that, living up to it? He already knows that he can do that. When he comes back, I think he's going to finish where he started and just come right back in and plug into that team, do well. 5 home runs, 18 RBI, 6 stolen base, ops. That's on-base percentage and slugging of .860. Leads the team in that. Doesn't strike out a lot. Plays unbelievable defense, and he's become a leader out there. Him and Torkelson together coming up like this. It's a shame. It really is. On a team that's strapped together with spit and shoe polish, trying to keep this team together and keep them in the race. Now we got to hope that the Twins and Guardians don't win so much. If they can win this game today against the Rangers, that's going to help them. That's like a winning the series. If you can win 1 out of 3 against Texas, that's good. Then go to Chicago and beat the hell out of the White Sox. That's all you got to do. Right, you know what, you just said something that made a lot of sense, and I think we should tease this. I'm working on my teases like Ryan and Ermanni. I think we should tease this and talk about it next segment, but you talked about how because of how hard he plays, because what you see out there, him giving it all, you don't have a problem with him getting injured. You don't mind when you lay it all out there on the line. Unlike maybe somebody else in another sport. But when we get back, we can talk about that.
Ooh, look at that. Deep tease there. Who's this guy? Braylon Edwards. Deep tease. We've got that. Pistons pursuing Monty Williams again. And we'll get some Detroit Lions talk as well. Where do they rank on the division championship confidence meter? All that and more. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. By the way, we are going to be broadcasting live from the steak shop on June 16th. You can experience the difference today, the Fairway difference. Visit their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. Again, we'll be there on June 16th doing our show live in Grosse Pointe Woods. If you can't make it, order online. They ship anywhere. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Detroit sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ermanni and Edwards, Woodward Sports on YouTube. We are less than 300 subscribers away from 44,000 on that platform. If you can't watch live, download our podcast, leave a 5-star review, available anywhere and everywhere you listen to your podcast, and of course, woodwardsports.com for all the merchandise, clips, news, articles, all that stuff. I'm wearing a beautiful, nice shirt today. Reasonably priced, feels good, looks good.
It's always
about the
that
only
nice
green I wear.
It's like that deep Notre Dame sometimes where they wear green.
Yeah,
I think Michigan State had that green.
I got 3 colors. I got all 3.
Yeah.
And feels good. I love it.
It's a lot of green lately,
Need a
man.
blue and white one. Need a blue and white.
A lot of green and white going on over there.
It is, but it's good enough.
Ryan and Mike, before we went to commercial, was talking about something that you said. You said because of how hard Riley Green plays, because of the effort that you see him give, you don't have a problem necessarily with him getting injured. Now, you don't want him to get injured.
Correct.
But you understand why he's getting injured. He is giving the Detroit Tigers and their fan base something to cheer about and something to talk about. Could it be conversely on the opposite side with someone like DeAndre Swift? Because he was a guy that got injured a lot too, but nobody gave him the pass of getting injured because was it his called into question? Is that maybe somewhat of a difference? Because you look at Deuce
Staley?
Deuce Staley talking about him in training camp last year during Hard Knocks. He had to ask him about running up in there. He had to ask him about being tough. He had to ask him about just getting the yards necessary. It was always, is he hurt or is he not? It's the old school saying, are you injured or are you hurt? You can play through pain, but you can't play if you're injured. But you see how he didn't necessarily get the good graces because a lot of people didn't know if he was injured or not. Whereas with Riley Green, you see that effort. You see that determination. It's just something interesting and watching what the perspective is. When someone gives it their all, you don't mind. You're with that person. But when it doesn't appear that someone is giving it all, when it appears that they have maybe a turf toe or something along those lines, we don't forgive as much.
And not only that, it's less games, 17 versus 162.
True.
And Swift played in 50 to 55% of those games in his career here with Detroit. And, we always busted his chops. Hey, take it in the hole. Take it in the hole. Don't go outside. Don't try to take it outside. And we went up and down with this guy, and we all loved him.
Yeah.
When he was on the field, he was really terrific. He didn't always take it inside like we were saying, up the middle or putting his head down, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate the way it ended. Like I said, I wish he was still on the team, trying to help us a little bit, maybe get a new contract next year, if not here, somewhere else. But it just didn't end the way I wanted it to end, and it was time for him to go. Riley Green, he's on the upswing. DeAndre Swift is not.
Riley Green, too, reminds you a little bit of a football player that plays baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how hard he goes. And again,
you knew Pete Rose played football somewhere.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And same with Kirk Gibson. I mean, these guys are rough and tough guys that give it their all. And yes, when you look at DeAndre Swift, when the coach calls you out and says, you got to play through some of these injuries.
Yeah.
You could play hurt, you can't play injured. When he calls your toughness into question on live TV, essentially, on national television, and he knows what's going on. He knows those cameras are following him. Those guys are very methodical about what happens there. I believe it's fair for a fan base to call that into question. So that's how I feel about DeAndre Swift. He's gone. Can I say one thing about Eduardo Rodriguez?
Please, go ahead.
Eduardo Rodriguez is on the IL now as well. He's got a situation with a finger.
You need those when you pitch.
Well, you do need those when you pitch, but this might sound like a little bit of a loser's mentality too. But I mean, it's not the worst thing. If you're a Tigers fan that wanted Eduardo Rodriguez to stay with the Tigers, maybe not the best or worst thing in the world that he got hurt.
You can't trade him now.
You can't trade an injured player, and maybe the injured player won't want to opt out of his contract either for more money.
Yes.
So, I mean, this might ultimately work out for the Tigers.
It may ultimately work out for the Tigers. Eduardo Rodriguez came on strong this year after last year being a complete no-show, trying to figure out where he's at, dealing with a family matter. Now, pitching well, with the exception of the last 2 outings, as Maz will point out. He gets injured, and now he has to stay. Like it's nothing like being injured and everything being in question. You're sitting there, you're like, dang, like can I make a move now? Will they trade for me? How will that work out? It probably won't happen. Are they going to keep me here? And you know what? As opposed to asking for more money, maybe I'd just be happy I'm in a situation where they can take care of me and come back to a team that might be winning. So it may not be the worst thing happen that he's in this situation right now before the buyers and sellers situation.
You know, big picture here over the next couple of months for the Detroit Tigers. You know, at this point, it looks very, very tough and does not appear that they are going to be able to compete for a division championship. The margin for error with this baseball team is so thin, was so thin. You can't possibly, I don't care how bad your division is, you can't lose your best pitcher, the ace of your staff, and you can't lose the heart and soul of your team in Riley Green, who, oh, by the way, is the best hitter on your team either. You can't lose those guys for some elongated period of time, and we're talking months here, and expect to compete for a division championship. That's just not how it works. I don't expect that. I just hope you can find a guy here and there that can be a part of this long term. Again, I don't care how bad this division is. It looks like an uphill battle at this point because that margin is so thin for error with this baseball team.
It just seems like it's always something, man. Last year, 2 years ago, the situation started off horribly, finished tremendous. Then last season, you start off horrible. You start off horrible again. But at least the pitching was good in the beginning of last season. Then the pitching balanced out. Then the hitting became good, and you had no pitching. This year, it looked like you got some guys getting it together, playing well together. You know, see all the what we talked about the walks. We talked about the pitching. We talked about taking care of your pitch, your stance, exactly. They were doing that. And now, two of your best players, one being a pitcher and one being probably essentially your best player, fielder, and hitter at this current time. Both of them get hurt. It's always something, it seems.
That's too bad. But right, go back to the injury again. I missed it last night. I know he got injured and he was coming out of the game, but it's a stress fracture.
Yes.
Now, are those worse, Braylon? Are those worse than like a regular fracture or break?
Stress fractures are complicated because they're not complete breaks. I remember when Steve Breston had a stress fracture that he dealt with, wide receiver at University of Michigan. He had that stress fracture my senior year, I want to say his redshirt junior year, redshirt sophomore year, and you just never know if it's completely healed because it's a hairline fracture. It's not a complete break, where when you completely break something, you know the process, you know the healing process, how long it's going to take, getting the cast on it, getting the right, amount of weeks, etc. When there's a stress fracture, it's really up to that individual how much they can take. Then you fix it, you don't know how much you fix. When you're dealing with hairline fractures, stress fractures, it's very tough because it's all individually based. Like complete breaks, it's the same for anybody with a complete break. Yeah.
So he wanted to stay in the game yesterday. They took him out in the third inning. He experienced the discomfort in the first inning. Yeah. He wanted to
I'm
stay
glad they
in.
took him out.
I know. I mean, it could have gotten a lot worse, right? I mean, and he played pretty much first 3 innings of the game on what probably was already a stress fracture. So totally sucks for him and totally sucks for this baseball team.
Adrenaline and sunflower seeds.
No doubt. Guys, I want to change up gears and get to the Detroit Pistons if we could. Apparently, according to NBA reporter Shams Charania, the Pistons are going back to the well. They are looking at Monty Williams, looking to put a full court press on Monty. As the tweet from Shams says, the Detroit Pistons are seriously pushing 2022 NBA Coach of the Year Monty Williams to be their new head coach and are prepping a significant offer. Many believe it's in the $10 million a year range. It was reported last week that Monty Williams declined that offer and did not want to pursue coaching with the Pistons this year or really anywhere else. But at the same time, they have identified the coach that they want to lead this young group, and they're not taking no for an answer. I love that. I love it too. Look,
at the end of the day, you went to him one time. You said, hey, Monty Williams, this is what we want to do. You're the guy that we want in charge when we get this thing turned the right way. You got some young guys in the squad, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duran. We got some guys which we feel like you can turn into a championship ball club. You can turn this into a playoff team, if you will, a team that can make the playoffs, a team that can make some noise. And he said no. He's looking at Detroit as what it is. Detroit hasn't been to a playoff in 7 years. Detroit hasn't won a playoff game since 2009, whenever that last game was, or something like that. They're not a city conducive to winning a title, going on a playoff run, being seen in a positive light, especially when you're coming off what you did in Phoenix, where you've been to the championship when actually was up 2-0, and then this year having Kevin Durant. But the Pistons said, the hell with that. The hell with that. Everybody, you called it out yesterday, Ryan. Everybody's looking for a coach. Not a lot of guys have hired a coach yet besides the 76ers. So why not go after Monty Williams again? Why not go with a bigger offer? He's a coach that has the cachet to get these young guys going in the right direction. Why not offer him some more money? You have it, so go after him. I love this by him. Tom Gores is letting us know, hey, look, we're trying to come back just like Sky Harris and the Detroit Tigers. We're trying to come back like Brad Holmes, Sheila Hamp, and the Detroit Lions. And like the Eyes are playing, we want to be a part of the city as well. Yeah. So let's keep going after him. I think this is a hell of a move by Troy Weaver and Tom Gores.
Hey, Sham Charania did a great job with this. James Edwards as well from The Athletic. It's basically they hit him already. And he's like, look, it's a great offer. I want to chill with my family this year. He's 51 years old. The same thing happened when he went after Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey said, look, I want to take some time with the family. Tom Gores said, listen, I'm going to offer you this. I really want you to come in. Obviously, he did. Now he's hoping to do the same thing with Monty Williams. He's 51, like I said, wanted to be with his family for a while. If you remember years ago, he lost his wife in a tragic car accident, which was a horrible thing that happened to him and his family. I'll never forget that and how honorable he was then and how many people loved this guy. And this guy has a relationship with Troy Weaver back in Oklahoma City. Obviously, he took the Suns from 19 wins to 35 wins in his first year with the team, and that's what Tom Gores likes to do. He likes to make a big splash, and he wants to show people, look, we're not going to just take anybody. We want the best guy available. He is the winningest coach right now actively. That's who they want to go after. If this does fall through, they are reporting that the assistant for the Bucks, is that Lee?
Charles Lee.
Charles Lee would be the favorite. Now, we all hear Kevin Ollie. We're not hearing Kevin Ollie's name, really. They met with Ollie twice and Lee twice, face-to-face. But they want Monty Williams, and I take my hat off to Tom Gores this time. Go get him. Don't let him say no. Get the guy here, and then build this damn team up.
I take my hat off to Tom Mazawey, who's gotten damn good at talking to the Woodward Sports Network chat, because that was amazing. I don't know if I could do it like you. The good thing about it, too, man, just think about going after Monty Williams. It's good that they're going after him. It's good they're doubling back again. It's good that they're offering him more to let him know, hey, look, come to Detroit. Be a part of something special. The only thing, too, Ryan, that I hope they know and add, one, it's not always about money. Like, it's not always about money. Just because you get offered more money a lot of times, you're looking at where you are in your life, what you want to do. You talked about the car crash, his family. Sometimes you want to take time off, or sometimes you want to build something special. Sometimes you just want to be able to tell the owner that. Sometimes owners don't get that side. They're like, here's $12 million, go win me a championship. Sometimes you want to we want to build it the right way. We want to build it from the ground up. I want to bring in a certain type of player. I want to do a certain type of thing. I want to build this through the city. You know, maybe the sales pitch this time around. Maybe the sales pitch coupled with a little bit more money. Maybe this time around it could pull somebody like Monty Williams, because he strikes me as a person. It's not about bumping it from 10 to 10.5 or 10 to 11. It seems like it's more substance with him. So I would change the message and how you present it to him.
Okay, I'll be the guy. I don't want Monty Williams, and I'll tell you why next. But first, a message from Cousins.
Was it my
Maine
spiel?
Lobster.
You didn't like my
That's
spiel?
all right. We'll listen to him. We will listen to him. But I'll tell you guys, get down to this place. They have 2 trucks rolling around the city of Detroit talking about Cousins Maine Lobster, cousinsmainelobster.com. Do yourself a favor. Put your phone right over that QR code. It'll take you right to their website. Download their app or schedule, and you can call ahead or order your food ahead. It's the most succulent lobster on this side of New England. You're going to think you're in Maine, but you're right here in Detroit, USA. 2 of those food trucks rolling around the city. One might be in your area. cousinsmainelobster.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Welcome back, woodwardsports.com, for all the latest news, articles, updates, show clips, and merchandise. The Pistons are preparing to make Monty Williams a massive offer to be head coach. That is according to Shams Charania and James L. Edwards III. 2 months after Dwayne Casey stepped down from his role as head coach, the Pistons heavily pursuing Monty Williams, the NBA's winningest coach since 2021, in the range of $10 million. That would put him among the league's highest paid coaches. They made a run at him reportedly last week. He said no. The Pistons are saying, well, wait a minute here. We want you to be our head coach. Yeah. We need you to be our head coach. We will pay you a very high premium to be the Detroit Pistons head coach. We're not giving up.
Yeah.
And I think the Pistons should. And I'll tell you why. They went down this road before. Now, granted, the roster was in a much different situation. But they did hire a coach in Dwayne Casey that really didn't want to coach. If I've got kind of my story right, Dwayne Casey was fired from the Raptors, and he was in a situation where he wanted to go chill out for a little while.
Yeah.
He didn't want to coach. Not the Pistons, not the Knicks, not the Lakers, nobody. He just didn't want to coach. Needed a little bit of a break. And they made him an offer. He apparently couldn't refuse, and he came here, and it's been a disaster. Now, that's not all on Dwayne Casey. That is on a complete roster rehaul and a complete roster overhaul that they did. I mean, Dwayne Casey came to take a playoff team to the next level, and he wound up with a rebuild. So it was false advertising from the Pistons to Dwayne Casey as well. So I'm not putting that all on him. But here's the situation in Monty Williams, where you really are in a situation where you have a guy that doesn't want to coach. You get $20 million for just sitting out. Wants to be with his family. The Bucks are out there in the Eastern Conference. We'll talk about the Celtics. Celtics are probably going to break up. Jaylen Brown. I mean, the Bucks are the clear front runner in the Eastern Conference. I would think easy front runner in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
To be closer to a championship than any other Eastern Conference team, including the Miami Heat. Not this year, obviously.
He didn't get D'Angelo Russell.
But Monty Williams is not up for that job.
Yeah.
You don't hear Monty Williams' name up for any job because I think he's made it clear that he doesn't want to coach. If you get him to coach for a paycheck, it's a very dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
I'm not accusing Monty Williams of that, but if your heart is telling you one thing, believe it. You want to sit out, sit out. Don't come take this money if your heart isn't in it. And I just am not sure if his heart is in it this with the Pistons, the Bucks, or anybody else that's looking for a coach.
Yeah, true. I mean, you're talking about a situation where, he may want to sit out. You say he didn't want to coach the first time around, so maybe that is the thing. Money definitely moves the needle. Now, I said, a couple seconds ago that money isn't everything it isn't, but money definitely moves the needle. I think you got to look at it from this standpoint. With Dwayne Casey was much older in years. Now, when he was coming here, he wanted to sit out too. He wanted to sit out because he knew what he had built with the Toronto Raptors. He had built a team that was built to win the championship. They then fired him after winning Coach of the Year. He knew what he had built there and every right to be angry as they won the championship the following year. Then he comes here, but he's much older. He was 60, I want to say, or 61 he was when he took over already. Monty Williams is 51. So I think it's going to be a situation. Anybody that takes over the job here, to a certain extent, is coming to be in the best space financially, if we're being honest. It's Detroit Pistons' job. You're coming here. You're coming, one, it may be the only job you can get. It can be one of the ones you can actually achieve. And two, you're coming in for the bread. So I think we can't overlook the fact that that's just the city or that's just the team that we have as it relates to the NBA.
I'm with you, Rye, when it comes to just coaching for a paycheck.
Yeah.
That's a no-no. I mean, I hope if he makes a decision, I hope he is at peace with it no matter what he does. And then I hope Tom is at peace with moving on if he has to.
And then you look at the landscape of the NBA. I mean, if Monty Williams collects his paycheck this year just for sitting out,
he'll be back next year.
You can look around the league. Maybe Joe Mazzulla will be out in Boston, preeminent franchise in this league. Maybe Tom Thibodeau will be out in New York, preeminent franchise in this league. Hell, maybe Darvin Ham will be out, preeminent franchise in this league. You never know with the Lakers or even the Clippers or any of these other. I mean, you're talking about some really, really big franchises in spots throughout the NBA, and then you look at this mess that we have here in Detroit, and yes, it is a mess. Why would you want to come here if you have those options out there?
Exactly.
Maybe 12 months from now.
I agree. I was just listening to you and shaking my head. It's a tough decision. Anyone leaving those positions, anyone leaving those teams, like you're talking about the guys that are up to be hired right now, they either come from being in the finals the last couple of years or they come from winning a championship in the last 8 years or so. They don't want to come here. The only way to get them to come here, if you're talking about that pedigree of coaches, it's going to be to up the pay a little bit, to bump the number up a little bit, to say, hey, let's take you from here to here with that work to a certain extent. Because if not, then you're looking at a Lee, or then you're looking at an Ollie. And Ollie's a guy that done some work in the G League. We know what he did at UConn 2013, but is that the guy that's going to take the Pistons to the next level? Is that the guy that's going to get Jaden Ivey to play with Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren next year and keeping Bogdanovich? Is that going to be the guy? Is it Lee, who is the runner-up for the Bucks job because of him coaching under Budenholzer? We just don't know those things, and it seems like to get that guy to come here, it's going to take a little bit extra bump in pay for the big dogs.
And you do need a bit of a star here, and is one of those stars, a superstar really, is Jaylen Brown a superstar? Is he a player? Because anybody that the Pistons could acquire is going to have flaws.
Yeah.
There is no perfect player that the Pistons could acquire this offseason in a trade, in the draft, or otherwise that is going to be the perfect player. You are going to have to take a chance on somebody. Who that somebody is, I don't know. You got to get creative. You got to give a jolt to this franchise, a little kick in the pants to this franchise, and maybe Jaylen Brown is that guy. Maybe a sign and trade for a max deal is something you've got to do, and you're going to have to part with one of those guys, be it a Jaden Ivey, or Jalen Duren, or a Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, we'll get into Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in terms of what they're going to do, because that's a real thing. We didn't talk about that yesterday when we talked about them losing, how epic the collapse was. We need to get into that, but just quick story with Jaylen Brown. You know, looking at Jaylen Brown to come here, that's a move. The team is going to want to talk to the team. They're going to make sure, but first they got to talk to their player. And Jaylen Brown, I'm not trying to lead the Celtics to come to the Pistons. Like, I'm not trying to lead for what that is. It just wouldn't be something that I would be trying to do. But if you're talking about it from the Pistons, I don't know how the trade situation works in terms of what would you be able to give up to get a Jaylen Brown. Like, if you're the Celtics, what if you're the Pistons, what are you getting to get Jaylen Brown from them? That's tough.
Well, you do have assets. You know, you do have the number 5 overall pick. You have the number 5 overall pick, Jaden Ivey, who looks like a good player. Is he trade bait to get one of these guys, and or Cade Cunningham? Now, Cunningham wouldn't be a fit in Boston, I don't think, because, you know, Tatum and him play the same way. But maybe if you're trying to get a Jaylen Brown, maybe Jaden Ivey is a player that you throw up in any trade compensation. Tom E. Curran had this to say about the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown split.
What are the themes going up against Miami, and what may make them an atypical
That was Mike Malone. We'll get to Mike Malone in a minute. Tommy Curran just tweeted out about is it time to break up Brown and Tatum, the dynamic duo, because maybe they've reached their ceiling. And again, Tom E. Curran, 15 years after the title run was punctuated by the KG scream, anything is possible. These Celtics proved that that's still true, and that was the problem. Final thoughts on logic-defying season that went steadily south after the All-Star break.
It's a good read.
It is. Tommy Curran, one of the best local sports writers in the country.
Yep.
I mean, what he does for the
Hands
city
down.
of Boston, even Maz agrees on that. But really thoughtful piece there, and Brown is one of those guys.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, please, guys.
After watching the Celtics this whole offseason, I was really enamored with Jaylen Brown. And as the series went further with the Heat, he kind of disappeared in big parts of the game. I'm not sure if he's a guy you want to build around. Now, I know he's a terrific player, and he's not, what is he, 24 years old maybe?
26.
26? I don't know if I'd want to build my whole team around him. I think I'd rather roll with our guys that Troy Weaver drafted here and go outside that and just add pieces around these kids. Look, they were tanking the last 3 years. They're not going to tank anymore. It don't work. Look what happened to the Sixers. Now they're going to play ball. They're going to bring in some players. You got Bogey still. I think he's gone on trade night, to tell you the truth. I really believe they will trade him. That's just my take. I know they kept him at the deadline last year, but a lot of people want that kind of guy on their team. He's in his 30s. I don't know if he fits this team. I believe let's stay the course. Let's see who you draft at 5, and let's see who he puts around these guys. Because if it don't work this time, then maybe Troy Weaver ain't the guy for us.
It's funny you use pieces because I agree with pieces of your conversation. Like, I agree that I wouldn't have Jaylen Brown in Detroit in terms of, this is the guy I want to build around. I don't think he's the guy Detroit wants to build around. When the game was on the line for him, and obviously he's been playing bad this whole playoff series, especially the last series against the Miami Heat's been horrible. But when the game was on the line, first possession of the game, Jason Tatum gets injured. Jason Tatum can't go like Jason Tatum can go. So where are they going to go? They look to the guy that had been a leader at times last year in the playoffs, last year in the finals. You can argue that Jaylen Brown showed up more than Jason Tatum has in the playoffs the last 2 years, minus the 51-point game that he had this year.
Tatum got hurt, though.
You said what?
Tatum was hurt.
But what I'm saying the last 2 years, what conversation were we having last year? Where's Jason Tatum?
Yes, absolutely.
Jaylen Brown was there, showed up. Now this year the roles reversed. Jaylen Brown didn't show up. When they looked to him, say, hey, you're our guy. We need it from you. 8 turnovers the most in a Game 7 in Eastern Conference Finals history. Like, he's a guy that disappeared, missed all his 3 pointers.
Looked like he quit a little.
Looked like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Looked like he didn't want to be there. So, Maz, I agree with you. That's not the guy that I transfer. That's not the guy that I move pieces for. That's not the guy that I bring in to build around. But as it relates to Tatum and Brown, I wouldn't split them up. I would not split them up. You wait to get a big 2, a Supermax 2, a big 3. You need 2-3 guys in this league nowadays to win. They've been to 5 Eastern Conference Finals together. They've been to a finals last year, which, oh, by the way, they won the first game. This year was horrific. They brought in Malcolm Brogdon. He was supposed to be the piece.
Yep.
Never really kind of got it going, although he did win 6th Man of the Year. Marcus Smart, who won Defensive Player of the Year, his main role was a facilitator. He was a lockdown defensive guy. He's the leader. I didn't see him lock down anybody in this playoffs. In fact, I saw him get embarrassed by a bunch of different guys in the last 2 rounds of the NBA Finals. He's not the guy for them. They need to restart their team, but they need to keep those 2 pieces in play.
And really hard to do, to pay somebody $295 million and somebody to pay $325 million. Really hard to do and field the team.
It's really hard to get rid of Jaylen Brown and try to fill that role with a 5th pick, a Jalen Ivey and Jalen Duren.
Guys, if not Brown for the Pistons, then who? I'm going to throw some names out at you, okay? I'm going to throw some names out at you, and I don't want you to think about it. I just want you to tell me yes or no.
Yay or Bray.
Yay or Bray, and absolutely no time to think. Just the first thing that comes to your mind. We'll do it next, but first a message from Les Stanford, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. That's right, Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford, Buick, GMC. Same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And, of course, looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, right there on Michigan Avenue. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com. as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, trying to figure out how to get the Pistons better. And outside of a trade, a bold trade with Jaylen Brown, I'm not sure who makes this basketball team better. This is a man's league.
Yeah.
This is a man's league. You've got Jimmy Butler in the finals. You've got Nikola Jokic in the finals. In the West finals. Men in the East finals. Men in the semifinals. Men in the semifinals on the other side. Men throughout.
A lot of men everywhere.
Later rounds. You can't go to war with a 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old kid.
Men's league.
It's a men's league. And that is why you cannot just sit pat and wait 4 or 5 years for this core to grow together. Just can't happen.
Yeah, if you look at you look at the champs are usually 29, 30 years of age when they win. Last year, Steph Curry's MVP. He's 34 years old, 33 years old last year. I believe before that it was Giannis. Giannis was 30 when he won his first chip. You start to go back. Steph and KD, 30. You got to be of age. LeBron, he was in his 30s. You start looking at that. You start to pay that attention. As much as we focus on the young guys during the season, once you get to April, once you get to May, once you get to Father's Day weekend, you know it's all about grown men. You bring up a very good point. Maybe that's the way you built the Detroit Pistons team. You know, maybe we stop looking for that superstar, if you will, and you try to build it in the image of what the Miami Heat are doing. Because we keep looking and chasing that star.
But they ultimately got their star with Jimmy Butler.
So you're telling me to go to the streets and find
exactly.
these guys.
But the way that they got it through circumstance. Like Jimmy Butler was a situation where he was an alpha, but just wanted guys to work hard. He didn't want to operate under what they operate under now is just entitlement, giving guys the role of superstar because they have a little bit of talent and they go to some ABCD camp. And he kept getting bouncing from team to team, and now he's found his spot. You're going to have to look for some situations like that. Who are some guys that are getting older? Who are some guys that want to fit along? Who are the guys that want to go along? When guys start getting older, look at Paul George. Paul George made the decision. He said on his All the Smoke podcast, I finally got to a space where I realized I wasn't the number one. I couldn't win the championship on my own. I wasn't the guy to be number one in the position to win the championship. You got to go start looking at a couple guys like that and some of these older dudes. It may just be the route.
Here is why I'm all for a bold trade for Jaylen Brown. Here is why. You ready?
Yeah.
Both of you at the same time. I'm going to give you the top 15 free agents in the NBA. You tell me if that's somebody the Pistons should go after that would make this team better. You're right. No time to think. Just top of your head, okay?
Yes,
you ready?
Sir. Yeah.
James Harden.
No.
Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
No.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Yes.
Yes.
Fred VanVleet.
Yes.
Yes.
Chris Middleton.
Yes.
No.
I would take him again.
He hasn't been the same in the last 3 years. He's been injured.
And Porzingis hasn't?
Off the bench. Chris Middleton's a starter.
Okay, so you're getting a bench guy going to make the team better. That's good.
Okay, there you go.
Draymond Green.
No.
Jeremy Grant.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Nikolai Vucevic.
Vucevic? I like Vucevic. Yes.
Brooke Lopez.
No.
Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, I like Kuzma.
Jacob Patel.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
D'Angelo Russell.
No.
Well,
Jordan Clarkson.
No.
Austin Reeves.
Yes to Jordan Clarkson.
Hell yeah, I'll take Austin Reeves.
Yes
Cam
to Jordan
Johnson.
Clarkson. No to Cam Johnson.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just
Austin
giving you an
Reeves?
example.
I take him in a minute.
Austin Reeves.
In a minute.
Austin Reeves, the Lakers, 13 points a game, 3 rebounds a game.
Did you watch him in the playoffs?
I like Austin Reeves. Yeah, the white kid.
Yeah.
I like
There's
him.
only so many things he could shoot up when LeBron ain't giving him the ball.
Number 15.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Let him go to a team. He could probably be a star on the Pistons.
Well, I mean, he got his chance to start in the playoffs this year. This playoffs wasn't a typical year for a LeBron-type led Lakers playoffs, man. Like, the guy was out there facilitating. He was letting other guys out there get their thing. Like Rui Hachimura. You look at what Austin Reeves did. Those guys, Walker the fourth, those guys were allowed to shoot some shots because they needed them, and Austin Reeves is definitely a guy that went out there and balled out. He sure got paid in this NBA playoffs this year. But the Pistons are just tough. It's just tough because it's one of those situations, Ryan. Who are we getting? You getting free agent guys? What's the sales pitch to come to Detroit? Once again, it becomes about money.
Yeah.
Now we got to throw more at guys like Jordan Clarkson.
I mean, all money. I'm going to give you playing time.
I'm just saying.
I'm asking.
You're telling me you're gonna choose from James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kristaps Porzingis, Fred VanVleet, Chris Middleton, Draymond Green, Jeremy Grant, Vucevic, Lopez, Kuzma, Patel, Russell, Clarkson, Reeves, and Johnson. It's a terrible crop of free agents.
We can't even pay a coach extra to come here.
It's a terrible crop if you're trying to get a number 1 or a number 2.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get a star,
you got to start somewhere, right? You can't just build a team. And right now, you're starting to build the team. You had all your kids. Now you got to add your veterans.
Right, but again, which veteran here? You look at the Phoenix Suns and the way they were
built. 5 of those
okay?
guys right off the top that you said. 5 of them.
Okay, Harden, Irving, we've seen how that worked. Porzingis, I don't even know if Porzingis plays.
It's okay.
Fred VanVleet is a good player, but is he going to replace Jordan? You going to replace him with Jaden Ivey? Because VanVleet's not coming off the bench.
No, VanVleet's looking for about 45.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're going to pay Fred VanVleet $45 million to sit the bench behind Jaden Ivey? No, you're not. What about Chris Middleton? Love Chris Middleton. But
I like Jeremy Grant now back on this team.
Yeah, I mean, he might be another
I like
one.
Reeves.
But again, Jeremy Grant is a player you could look at as well. There is no perfect player is what I'm trying to get at. There's no magic potion here.
Yeah.
There's going to be an imperfect player.
You know what you need? You just need players. You don't have any players. You got young kids, and you won how many games? 19?
If that.
17? How many did they win?
Yeah, like 16, I believe, or something like that.
Come on. Anything's an upgrade.
Well, from one end of the spectrum to the next, the Heat and Nuggets in the NBA Finals tomorrow. Looking forward to this series. The Nuggets are a really, really big favorite against the Miami Heat. Game 1 and 2, Tuesday, Sunday in Denver. Then you go Wednesday, Friday. For Wednesday, I like that the NBA has done this now. They scrapped the 2-3-2 format a couple of years ago. It is 2-2, 1-1-1. That's the way it should be.
That's
by
the way
the
it
way.
always should
That's the way it always should be. So 2 games.
Tomorrow night it starts.
Tuesday, Sunday, and then you go Wednesday,
Thursday.
Friday next week in Miami.
Early predictions. We think early predictions.
I mean, obviously, you look at the Nuggets overall. I think I would play the Heat in Game 1, though. I think I would take the Heat to win Game 1 or at least cover in Game 1 because of the rust. I think we've seen it in every league. Well, not so much in the NFL because they sit out the same amount of time.
Right.
But in baseball, in basketball, in hockey, teams with long layoffs, and it will be 10 games in between games for the Denver Nuggets. That is an awful long time. You lose your edge. You lose a little bit of intensity. And I take the Heat in Game 1.
They're a 3-1 underdog.
I take the Heat in Game 1. I take the Nuggets in the series.
So Maz and I said the same thing that you said. We said we both agree with Game 1. The Miami Heat will win. I think it'll be a series very much like the Philadelphia 76ers and the Lakers in 2000, where AI went out there, the infamous stepping over Tyronn Lue. They steal Game 1, and then the Lakers won 4 in a row and showed them how good they are. I think it's the same thing. And even with that the 10-day rust thing, well, here's to disprove that. The last 9 times I want to say that it's been a number 1 versus number 8 with that long extended rest when they've had home field advantage. It's been 8-1. The team that's number 1 has won it. So that you can debunk that theory about the 10-day rest. I think it's because of, one, how well they play, but I think they're going to throw everything they have at the Denver Nuggets, and they're playing very good basketball. And I can see the Denver Nuggets getting to a space where, you know how this NBA is now, Ryan and Maz, we're halfway through the second, you're kind of like, it's not our game today. We'll let them win this one, and then we'll roll it. I think you'll see something like that. But at the end of the day, as much as I love Hemi Butler, I love those guys. Caleb Martin, the way they've been playing, they are just no match for what Denver is. They are no match because everything has made the Heat very good in terms of effort, energy, defense, playing on both sides, being scrappy. The Denver Nuggets are that exact same thing, but very, very much more skilled. You got Nikola Jokic, the best player in basketball. Jamal Murray is playing on the same level as Nikola Jokic, not to mention the other guys, including Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. So it's just a tall road. I'm seeing game one, like you said, but then I'm seeing 4 in a row by the Nuggets.
You said every single series so far that the Heat have no chance against these teams. Boston's better than them. Knicks are better than them. This is better than them.
I picked them against the Knicks.
I'm just saying, this team don't quit. This team, they're not an 8 seed like you said.
Yeah.
And Mike Malone, he says the same thing. Don't look at this Heat team like an 8 seed.
But they are an 8 seed.
Speaking of Mike Malone.
Mike Malone says, don't look at this team like an 8 seed.
Speaking of Mike Malone, here he is.
This is another reason why.
What are the themes going up against Miami, and what may make them an atypical 8 seed?
Take it from here.
Well, as I told our team, man, like forget the 8 seed stuff. I mean, they beat Milwaukee 4-1. Team that had the most wins in the NBA this year. They beat Boston 4-3, and they're up 3-0. Team with I think the second most wins in the NBA this year. So you get to the NBA Finals, it's not about seeding anymore. And for those that are thinking that this is going to be an easy series, I don't even know what to say to you people. I mean, like, this is going to be the biggest challenge of our lives. It's the NBA Finals. You know, this is, you're trying to win the first NBA championship in franchise history. And it's going to be the hardest thing that we've ever done, which is the way it should be.
See, this is part of the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying about the 4-1. And this is why. One of the reasons when you're an 8 seed or when you're a low-ranked team, whatever, people are not expecting you to be good. People are not taking you serious. People don't have the wherewithal to say, hey, you know what? Don't look at the numbers. Look at how well they're playing. The Denver Nuggets have a coach that is telling his guys, forget the number. You heard what Aaron Gordon said. Aaron Gordon said, we're not looking at just like number 8. We're just looking at a team that's scrappy, just like we're scrappy. The reason why I think it's going to be 4-1, though, the reason why I know it's going to be 4-1, there are no excuses in this Denver Nuggets series. If you look at every team that the Miami Heat have played, here comes the excuses. Giannis didn't play when he played for the Bucks. The New York Knicks couldn't beat this team. They weren't chopped. This is their first year 100%. And the Knicks are going to do what the Knicks are going to do. You look at the Celtics. It's a team with Mazzulla, first-year coach. There's no Ime Udoka. Jaylen Brown has played horrible. You got an injury to Malcolm Brogdon, blah, blah, blah. There is nothing wrong with the Denver Nuggets. They are a fully loaded team. Their team is just as strong as they were when you started the season in October, and they've added pieces. That's the difference. This isn't a storyline game where, what about this guy? His mental isn't straight. This guy is hurt. This guy is not there. Everybody's mental and everybody's physical is locked and loaded with the Denver Nuggets.
I'd be all in on the Heat. I would. Had it not been for their almost collapse against the Celtics. They had to pick themselves up off the floor, especially after Saturday's Game 6, which I never see a team lose like they lost. Jimmy Buckets, with 2.8 seconds, gets fouled behind the three-point line. He sinks the 3 free throws. Then during the break, they're like, oh, well, he shot it at 2.8. It probably should be at 2.4, but we'll put it at 3.0 for some reason. And then the Celtics tip it in at the end of the game. I'll never know why it was 3.0, because it was never 3.0 when he shot the damn ball. It was 2.8. I don't know what the hell they did there, but I don't know if that ref was there, Eric Lewis. He might have been. But if the Heat had not had to do what they had to do, I'd be all in on them, because I've just fallen in love with this team. And you know what? Braylon, you made it easy for me. I'm rooting for the Heat.
Yeah. Mike Malone, by the way, our good friend Greg Campy, Oakland University, sent congratulations to former Oakland University assistant coach Mike Malone.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
How about that?
How about that? So, pretty good stuff there. By the way, your boy Jimmy Butler has trademarked Himmy Buckets. Himmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler trying to make a little bit of extra money with that. So, and why not? Himmy Buckets, owner, 25 Endorsement LLC. Look at that.
I don't like that, though.
Coffee, beer, soda, bottled water, clothing, coffee cups. Hemi buckets. How about that? Good for you, buddy.
Good for you,
Good
Jack.
for you, Jack.
I guess
Hey,
it works.
hey, coming up next, Gabby Phillips was out on Lake St. Clair with Lomas Brown and Frank Ragnow. We'll play that for you.
she fishing?
And fishing. And my confidence meter. My division championship confidence meter. You ready for this?
I am.
I rank them 1 to 8. What are yours? Let us know. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes, that's right. Planet Fitness, we all know, is the home of the judgment-free zone.
No
where
judgments.
you can work out for just $10 a month. But as of right now, Planet Fitness is thrilled to allow high schoolers ages 14 through 19 in the U.S. and Canada to work out for free all summer long, all the way up until August 31st. Teens can register now and officially gain access to the club, with registration being open all summer, all the way up until August 31st as well. But that is not all, because Planet Fitness is also giving away over $200,000 to high schools and students. Teens ages 14 through 19 who register for the high school summer pass can help win a scholarship for their school and participate in a TikTok video contest for a chance to win academic scholarships. Visit the landing page for more information and legal disclosure at pfsummerpasscontest.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
It's summertime in Michigan, which means a couple of things. Great weather, cookouts with friends, and that you'll find Detroit Lion Frank Ragnow out on the open waters of Michigan getting his fishing in. Frank Ragnow welcomed former Detroit Lion Lomas Brown out to Lake St. Clair, where they headed out to fish. So what do we have to look forward to you guys bringing in tonight for dinner?
I'm game to catch anything. Whatever's biting, I'm game to catch.
Had a little bit of friendly competition.
I just got to try to beat Frank today. That's
the only goal,
right there.
Talk a little football.
Offensive line is not a position you get much praise, so we kind of try to keep a level head and realize that as soon as we're the best in the league, we have one bad game, we're the worst in the league. So we have to always keep that in the back of our mind.
One thing that I would tell a guy, that's going through this right now, just enjoy your time while you're playing in the league.
But they were mainly there to bring awareness to both of their fantastic charities that are making a true impact on our community here in Detroit.
So the Rags Remembered Foundation's in honor of my dad. I lost him with a heart attack in college. And it's a foundation that I've always been thinking about throughout my career, and finally was able to launch a year ago. It's able to help grieving families kind of get through their grief through the outdoors.
The Lomas Brown Jr. Foundation, and basically is geared towards helping our youth. In the Southeast Michigan area. I have sports camps and I do educational camps. And I'm just glad that my foundation is getting the opportunity to kind of team up with Frank.
For more information how to get involved in both of their charities, go to frankragnow.org and Lomas Brown Jr. Foundation.org.
I don't know, I'm biased, but I don't think you'd ever regret going fishing. It's definitely worth it.
Great stuff there, Gabby Phillips. Thank you so much. Frank Ragnow and the Detroit Lions, my goodness, one of the key cogs in that offensive line. Probably the strongest unit, top to bottom, on this team.
Yeah, 100%. 2 years ago, there was a lot of injuries on that team, and they still were staying. They still, you look at what Jackson did, you look at what Vitae did. They were amazing in there. And last year, they had another damn good year. You saw they start off. The offense was rocking and rolling to the tune of 45 points a game, first 4 games of the year. So, looking to see that again. I mean, they're going to be very detrimental. I mean, you draft Jahmyr Gibbs. You got to pull a wall in front of him. That's going to be the Detroit Lions offensive line. Not to mention, you got to give Jared Goff time like you did last year. He was able to pick some teams apart last year because he had that time by guys on that line, especially Frank Ragnow.
No doubt about it.
Hey, Frank told Gabby also that they got a great group of rookies, and he's looking forward to playing with these guys. And I just want to throw it out there to you. Frank has been great here. Former #1 pick. Plays hurt all the time. He has a toe that is not going to get better, and it's only going to get worse. When do you go out and you find your next Frank Ragnow? Should they have done it in this past draft?
Well, I don't hate the question because when he was out in I have the stats up here. When he was out in 21, Evan Brown made the Pro Bowl or was close to playing in the Pro Bowl.
That's Braylon's guy.
So, I mean, you can find those guys. They are out there. So
I know, but we had them.
But at the same time, it's one situation where you can keep that guy as well. Maz, when we first brought up in the offseason, who are the key Detroit Lions you wanted to bring back? Evan Brown was the guy that was high up on my list. Evan Brown was actually second on my list. I wish we would have been able to keep him because you're right. He actually was the first alternate for the Pro Bowl in 2021 off being a backup to Frank Ragnow.
And he goes through an enemy of yours in Seattle.
This is very true, man. Yeah. We're losing all those battles to Seattle. But to Ryan's point, and you made this when we first started the show, when you look at guys that are playing in the playoffs on that offensive line or even in the Super Bowl, a lot of times you got guys in the 7th round, 6th round, some guys undrafted. So there are offensive linemen out there to be found.
I know Glasgow is a backup center, but that's a backup center.
Don't make any mistake about it. This is a 27-year-old player, probably the best center in the league, or definitely top 2 or 3.
He's top 3.
Definitely top 3. You don't get rid of those guys.
Of course not.
You don't get rid of those guys.
But you protect yourself.
I understand.
I mean, look at Jason Kelce and the Eagles.
Right.
They're still paying Jason Kelce because he's the best at what he does.
They talked about retiring.
100%.
I mean, this guy could cut his toe off, Frank Ragnow. He'd still probably be top 5, top 6 center in the league.
We've seen a player do that. His name was Ronnie Lott. He cut his
finger off.
He cut his pinky
in the
finger.
playoffs.
You know, I think too. It's great. Excuse me. The off-season hiccup. You want to see guys like Ragnow and everybody else. You know, give them back to the community. That's stuff. That's great stuff. That's what endears you to a community when you get there. Braylon, I know when you got to Cleveland, New York, Miami, you're all over the place. I mean, that's one of the first things you do. Is you get and you put you dive in feet first in the community. You try to give back.
Yeah, you know, I may crack all the jokes ever about the fans in Cleveland, you know, and there might be 40,000 fans in that stadium that I don't particularly care for. But the city of Cleveland itself, there were a lot of things that we did on the ground floor, whether it was building playgrounds in Chagrin Falls, whether it was visiting some of the schools, doing some of the after-school program stuff in Elyria. A lot of the Cleveland Heights, man, we had this big camp that we would do every year through the Cleveland Browns. So there was some good work, some school education, scholarships, the Advanced 100. Shout out to Justin in there, the best mustachio in the business. But there's a lot of work that goes on, man. A lot of scholarship things that we did in Cleveland. The work will go on, as well as Seattle, as well as in New Jersey, and as well in here at the city of Detroit, University of Michigan. So it always feels good to be on the ground floor.
Did you see Justin rise up like the great pumpkin?
He did.
He came up like the great pumpkin.
Charlie Brown, the great pumpkin.
That's it. They took that off TV.
Oh, I know. It's too offensive for folks. Quick thought on Lomas Brown. Great to see Lomas out and about too. Who's better than Lomas?
He's a friend
Brown?
of the show, man.
Very much
so happy to be with them. You went out to lunch with him, so you got the one up on us.
There you go.
Nah, I've known Lomas since he was playing with my dad in '89. I think my dad was there '87. Lomas got drafted in '88, so I've known him very, very, very long time. Uncle Lomas, crazy they look alike now.
The message, right.
My
Lomas
dad
and your dad
look alike.
The message from Lomas though too, to try to really enjoy being in the league when you're in the league because you probably take it for granted when you're playing. As a good player in the league, really good player in the league, you think it's going to last forever. It does not.
It doesn't. You're always thinking about tomorrow. You always think about tomorrow. Like when I played, you have the Pro Bowl year in 2007. I had 16 touchdowns. So now I'm thinking 18 touchdowns the next year. I'm thinking the next contract. It's always the next move. Well, the next playoffs, the next this. And then you're not in the league. Then it's over. And then you're sitting here talking about what it was when you played. Happens fast. Lomas is right. You got to just got to sit in the moment sometimes. Be there, be present, enjoy it. You deserve it. You've earned it. Because it goes quick.
I forgot to ask you, how was Ninjas last night?
Quick.
Oh, man. Last Ninjas in Gymnastics
was
night.
Was it a big celebration?
Oh, man. We got our McDonald's. We got our chicken nuggets and fries.
Notice he said we.
Oh, no. I did not do
we.
that. I did not do that.
He said we.
Before, you might think I'm crazy, but before we went to Ninjas and Gymnastics, because we leave at 5:30, so I was home from 5 to 5:30.
Made a sandwich?
Made myself a couple of hot dogs.
All right.
And that was my
on
dinner
the grill
last night. No, just I boil them.
I've never liked hot dogs.
It's like a ballpark Frank. It was a really good hot dog. It wasn't a ballpark Frank, but it was kind of like that.
I had a great dog in Cleveland.
2
on
hot
Sunday.
dogs. It was so good.
Oh, I don't know what it was, but it was at the ballpark.
Yeah, that's not off the stove.
That's good stuff.
It's off the grill or the roller.
Yeah, and they put we had a little sauerkraut on there, some hot peppers and stuff. It was good.
Oh,
really good.
Just enough time to put a little ketchup and mustard on it.
Perfect.
That's all I need.
You like boiled hot dogs?
I'm a very simple man.
I do like grilled hot dogs, but after
boil.
I do.
Ugh.
I like any hot dogs.
Yeah, I don't
Speaking
like
of that, the guy is walking down the aisle with the hot dogs in the steamer.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I just had a hot dog. I can't have another one. But I'd rather have that one, I think. In the steamer, like you. Or right out of the water.
There's nothing.
I like it out of the water,
right.
put it in the bun, put the ketchup and mustard on it, and just give it
That's
to me.
all I need, man.
That's
I'm
all
a
I
simple
need.
man.
I'm easy.
Best is when you get the hot dogs on the grill and they get burnt, man.
Those
they
are
have
good
like the
too.
black charcoal burnt.
Well, now I know how you like your hot dogs.
See, Parker knows what I'm talking about. Then you get the burnt, you get the charcoal smell and everything.
Yeah.
Nobody's mad at that. I just didn't have that kind of time.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's mad at that.
It was ninjas.
Guys, my NFL Division Championship confidence meter right out of the break. Where do the Lions fit in this? We'll have that. And where do the Chiefs fall in this? But first, the message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. You can walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars. One for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your kid. Whoever you want to give it to. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Welcome back, WoodwardSports.com. You can subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. Yes, you can. Coming up on 44,000 subscribers. Less than 300 subscribers away on that platform. If you could hit the like button, 400 live viewers right now. Go ahead and hit that like button for us. Let's see if we can get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment. And of course, WoodwardSports.com for all the latest news, articles, updates, show clips, and merchandise. I am wearing one of the items that we have on WoodwardSports.com here in the shop. Great Woodward Sports shirt. Really feels good, too. Really feels good. It's cheaper than the $80 you're going to spend if you go get it from someplace else, one of those sporting goods stores.
Shipping and handling.
My goodness.
It's the shipping and handling.
Right. Absolutely.
That was a question.
Shipping and handling. I don't know anything about that. Shipping and handling. What's the shipping and handling?
What was the fee for shipping and handling?
Oh, I don't think it was much. I don't know. Actually, that's a great question.
Shipping and handling. I was like, what?
Yeah, shipping and handling. I don't think it was that much because I did regular delivery.
Okay.
If you want to speed it up, I mean, I'm sure you can do it.
Yeah,
It's saying Amazon.
I'm just giving the people
You get Amazon, you order something right now, it's there when you get home.
Yeah, I did that for the first time, and it like caught me off guard.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. You got all those fulfillment centers.
Guys, I wanted to do this. Let's do one a day. So I do mine today, then you guys can do yours throughout Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, we do ours. You're not here, huh?
Yeah, I am not here. I'm going on a golf trip this weekend. So,
can I tell you how much I love golf?
Well, I'm not. Well, either way, I'm not a big golfer either. I'm going for the camaraderie.
I know. I don't like the season.
Very good.
All right.
Okay, so this is my division championship confidence meter. Okay. Great graphic, guys. Great job. So, number one, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC South. I am more confident that they will win the division than any other team in football. Maybe I should just go through this first.
No, I think you should do one at a time.
Okay. And then the Detroit Lions.
No.
Okay. Okay,
Stop.
then drop it. Okay, Jags, drop it. There you go.
I agree with the Jags as your number one pick. That's what I meant to do.
Okay.
I think the Jags are a lock. A mortal
check.
lock to win the AFC South. Who else you got? You got the Titans, the Colts, and the Texans.
Yes, I'm
Come
more
on.
confident that they will win the division than any other team in football.
I agree with you on that division, and I agree with you on that team. Number one.
Number
Jags.
2, there it is, the Detroit Lions.
Oh.
I think this is the Detroit Lions division to win. Yeah. I don't think Minnesota, Green Bay, or Chicago will win more than 8 games. I believe Minnesota's an 8-9 football team. Green Bay might be an 8-9 football team. And then Chicago, to me, is a 6-win football team. So I put the Detroit Lions at number 2 on my division championship confidence meter. They are far and away better than anybody in this division.
I agree with you on who's going to win the division. I disagree with you on having the NFC North Lions number 2 on
Fair
the
enough.
confidence meter. And also, Minnesota, there's a reason why they got rid of all those defensive players this offseason. They got something cooking for us. So I agree, Lions win, but not number 2 on my confidence meter.
I'm with you exactly. I don't think the Lions are my second favorite on the confidence meter. Out of the 8 divisions, I'm not going to rank the Lions second. They haven't won a division since what? Was it 93?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it 94 or 95?
93.
Like
93.
93. So 30 years, the anniversary of me being here in Michigan. I should be probably picking them, Ryan. I hope you're right, but I don't know if you are.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Number 3 on my division championship meter is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I struggled to put them this high. I really did, because we have not had a back-to-back Super Bowl winner since 04-05. It's a long time ago. So they are playing against history. Now, I know that's for division championships and not Super Bowl, but they've got one hell of a tough schedule. And they've got one hell of a tough division. I think Denver is going to be really good. I think the Chargers are a wild card, although I don't think their coach is any good. And Vegas is a wild card. I mean, I don't think Tom Brady's going to be the quarterback of that team, but if he is, that's a really tough team.
Right.
So I've got the Chiefs number 3 on this list. I think they'll win the division. I had a difficult time putting them that high.
Yeah, I don't think Santa answers cards in May. So congrats on that Raiders. It's not happening. Tom's not going to play for that team. But I agree with you on the Chiefs winning, and I actually almost agree with you on the spot as well. Almost. So, yes, they win, and almost right spot.
I'm right with you, Ryan. I might even move them up one spot because I do think they dominate that division. But I think you got them in a good spot.
Okay, number 4 on my confidence meter is the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints to win the NFC South division. Tampa Bay. Now, no team in this division last year was above 500. Tampa won the division with an 8-9 record.
Yeah.
Carolina 7-10, Atlanta 7-10, New Orleans 7-10. I have New Orleans winning this division because, one, their defense, two, they have the best quarterback in the division in Derek Carr. Better than Baker Mayfield, better than Desmond Ridder, and better than Bryce Young. As a rookie, better than Bryce Young in his rookie season.
Or Andy Dalton.
Even be it his rookie year, I disagree. I think Bryce Young is going to be something special. But I agree with you on the winner, unfortunately, because I want it to be Carolina. I've said it's going to be Carolina. I may change my mind when we get closer to the season. But right now I agree with you on New Orleans, and I agree with you that they're number 4 on the confidence meter.
Right on with the Saints. Yeah. Nola. They got John Gruden in, and the more you read into this John Gruden story,
you get a check right there.
It wasn't only to install the offense for Derek Carr. They literally, Dennis Allen and his staff, sat down with this guy for more than one day to talk strategy, to talk offense. So he's got a lot more to do with the Saints team than you think he's got to do. And I think New Orleans has a big bounce-back year this year.
Number 5 on my division championship confidence meter, the Cincinnati Bengals. I wanted to put the Cincinnati Bengals at number 3, but I just couldn't do it. I think they play in a really difficult division, maybe the toughest division in football, one of them. I think Baltimore is coming this year. Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, they have something to prove. New contract, absolutely. Cleveland, I am not done with Cleveland. You can make fun of Cleveland all you want. I think Deshaun Watson, they didn't pay him $250 million to be last place every year. They're a team that's on the rise. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, all they do is have winning seasons. I think this is the toughest division in football, the AFC North. That is why I have Cincinnati in a flip of the coin at number 5.
I disagree with Cincinnati, and I disagree with this spot. I don't have them winning the division. I got Baltimore winning that division, and I'll tell you where I put them. So that's the first time that I don't agree with either one.
A division winner, okay?
Yeah, the first time.
Maz?
Bengals are going to be in my top 4 when I get a hold of them. That's all. They're my Super Bowl team. I'm sticking with Cincy. Move them up.
But you go ahead.
Number 6 on my confidence meter is the defending the NFC champion, the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. Here's the thing with Philadelphia, and here's why I have them so low. I don't think it's an automatic that they just come back and win 14 games or 13 games or even 12 games. They are replacing an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. Both coordinators they have lost some veterans on their team, so they are infused with new younger players. Nakobe Dean is starting for them. Jordan Davis will be counted on, and the guy they got last year, who's the
Jordan Davis,
and then this year.
The big guy.
Jalen
Carter.
So
all the Jalen's mixed up, and
they're all
Jalen Duran.
The 2 new coordinators and all the youth. I think they'll win the division, but I just don't think it's an automatic. That's why I have them so low.
I disagree. I think the Eagles are way too low, and when I actually can do mine now. Like when you finish yours, I'll just tell you what I had in mind. I got Eagles winning, but not that low on your confidence. You got them 6. I got them higher.
Okay, Maz.
Oh, they got to move up, right? They're a terrific team, but you do have some great points, especially with the coordinators, who I kind of forgot about. That makes a difference, and they might lose 2 more games, but I think 12 wins that division.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Move them up a little.
Okay, fair enough. 12 wins the division. Very difficult schedule this year, though, too. They got the Chiefs, the Bills, the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Jets. I mean, that's a tough division.
Patriots, okay.
Well, either way.
I can't wait till it's my turn.
Can't wait till it's your turn either. Number 7 on this list, flip of the coin. I don't know who's going to win the division. I just don't know. And that's why I've got the Jets there. I feel like Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are going to be more like Brady and the Bucs than like Wilson and the Broncos. I think they're going to be a really good football team. They, too, I mean, that's a division that is extremely difficult to project. You've got the Miami Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills, New England, I don't think New England's going to win 5 games this
they
year.
will.
I think New England's going to be a little bit better. Maybe they won 8 games last year. Could they win 8 games this year? Potentially. So Buffalo, Miami, and the Jets. I think it's a flip of the coin there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have them at 7. Where are we at 7 right now? I think you have the right place for this division winner. I disagree with you that AFC North is the number 1 division. I think that this is the number 1 division in football. I think AFC North is too, but they're 2 damn fine divisions. I got the Bills winning it though.
That's great analysis, actually, just to put it like that, because where the AFC East champion is like 7.
I agree. 100%,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Whether it's the Bills or even if the Dolphins somehow Tua has a really good year, capitalizes on when he played last year, 7 is the spot for that winner.
I think this is the year that the Jets break through, like the Lions. I've always called the Jets the Lions of the AFC. I know because I root for both those teams.
We went to back-to-back AFC championships, though. The Lions.
That was an accident.
No, it was not. You do it once, it's an accident. You do it twice, you did it on purpose.
That's because of Rex Ryan was there.
And then,
of
then finally, I'm going out on a limb here. Okay, this is why I have the Seattle Seahawks at 8, because I have the Seattle Seahawks winning the division.
Yeah.
This is a team that nobody is talking about. And everybody is just kind of placing the San Francisco 49ers as the division champion in the NFC West. They don't have a quarterback. And I do think good offense beats good defense in the NFL. That's where we are going now. Good offense beats good defense.
You heard Nick Saban.
And yes, the San Francisco 49ers have a really, really good defense, maybe one of the best in the league, but they have no quarterback. I'm not betting on Sam Darnold to take my team to a division champion or a Super Bowl or anything close to that. And I'm certainly not betting on Trey Lance to do that, even if healthy. They were trying to replace him last year before he was even healthy. That's why they didn't let Jimmy G go. I'm not giving a division to a team that doesn't have a quarterback. I'm going with Seattle there. I'm going out on a limb. They're my surprise team in 2023.
Are they a surprise team after what they did last year?
I think to win a division over San Francisco, yeah.
The way I look at it is this. Last year with Brock Purdy, everybody still picked, a lot of people still picked the 49ers to make it to the Super Bowl. They still picked them over Jalen Hurts, who had shown you how good he was. Everybody had a problem. Nobody had a problem last year with Brock Purdy. And he was a rookie quarterback drafted in the 7th round out of the Iowa State Cyclones. Now you got a quarterback in Sam Darnold, who has had some experience at the start of seasons in the NFL. You remember he started 4-0, I want to say, for the Carolina Panthers. Sam Darnold is only being asked not to muck it up. So that's why I got to stick with the 49ers. I think his job is not to mess it up. I think he's more skilled quarterback than Brock Purdy. And I think those years in the league of being kicked around have helped him out. When you got a defense like what the 49ers have and you have offensive weapons like the 49ers have, I think Sam Darnold's going to have a true year. You want to talk about comeback player of the year or most improved? I think it stays in the division, and I think it's Sam Darnold.
Yeah. You're picking Geno Smith over what the Niners have. I get it. And Seattle was a great surprise team last year. I mean, they're supposed to be in a rebuild, and they rebuild on the fly thanks to Schneider and Pete Carroll. I love that Seahawk team. They're going to lose in week 2, though, to the Lions. But the Niners should roll this division again. They should win it by daylight. So I'm going to say the Niners win this division, and I'm going to even move them up a little bit on your scale, all right?
Okay.
But good call. I like it.
So if you want to put the screen back up real quick, Parker, that's where we are, Bray. I got Jags, Lions, Chiefs, Saints, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Bengals, Eagles, Jets, and Seahawks. That is my NFL confidence meter for division championships.
And I agree with you on the position of the NFC West finisher at 8, because even if it is the 49ers, I think that's the spot for him. Do you want me to say mine now, or you want to come back from commercial? Are we ahead of time?
We are over, so I got to get to a break. We'll come right back. More NFL talk. Braylon can share his thoughts as well. But first, a message from Big Boy.
All right, it's Strawberry Fest time at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Don't do it. Get it right there now. The classic breakfast starts early in the morning with that classic strawberry hotcakes or the mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Or if you want some lunch or snack, how about it? Try it. The strawberry bacon chicken wrap or a nice salad. The summer splash salad for a little refreshing eats there. And don't leave without dessert. That's the best part of the day with the classic strawberry pie, the deep-fried vanilla Oreo, or the hot fudge cake with some strawberries on it. All that, plus you can get a Big Boy, too, at Big Boy.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, welcome back, woodwardsports.com. Braylon, reaction to the NFL division confidence meter.
Yeah, just a couple pointers. Let's start here. Number 1, Jags. We both said that 100%. I think they will dominate their division. 100% Jags. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are 2.
Okay.
We didn't talk about the it's like the NBA is going on. I'm trying to struggle. I'm thinking conference finals versus the AFC Championship. But anyway, AFC Championship, we weren't talking about that. We were talking about winning your division. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to win this division as long as Patrick Mahomes is the head quarterback. KC 2. Eagles 3. You're talking about the returning Super Bowl runner-ups. They may have given up some to this, and obviously to the 49ers as well, for Hargraves, but you still retain Brandon Graham, who made the biggest play in Philadelphia Eagle history with the Super Bowl play when he got to stop Tom Brady. He's still there to lead. Jason Kelsey is still there to lead. Fletcher Cox is still there to lead. Lane Johnson is still there to lead. A.J. Brown is the most dominant weapon on your offense, not named Jalen Hurts, why you were so successful in the postseason. He's still there. So they have more than enough, not to mention Bradbury, Slay, and Hassan Reddick. They have enough leaders on that team, not to mention 2 back-to-back Georgia National Championship teams, members on that team. So they're fine at 3. Agree with you at New Orleans at 4. Lions at 5. I think they're going to win. I just move them down just a little bit, like Naz said. They haven't done it in 30 years, so 7. Baltimore 6. I just like the weapons. I think you'll have a re-energized.
Tough division to call.
It is, because you can be right three times over. You can be right.
AFC is a juggernaut.
But I just think this is Lamar Jackson's year. He asked for the money. He got the money. He asked for some weapons. He got some weapons. They drafted well. They bring some guys back on defense. This would be Baltimore's year. The Bills, I think the Bills, they'll win that division. I mean, it's tough. Just because you add a piece, you can easily say if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback for the Jets when they played the Lions, maybe they win that game, but maybe not. You can't always just say plug and play. So I think go ahead.
This may be a dumb analogy, but the Bills feel like the Florida Panthers to me a little bit this year. In that they had such a great year last year.
Like 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah. It's a disappointment. They're kind of coming back a little bit better, a little bit under the radar. Nobody's picking them for everybody's picking the Jets and the Chiefs and the Bengals. Nobody's remembering that the Bills are out there. Maybe this could be a Bills year as well where they sneak up on people.
Good point.
Yeah, 100%. But there's a player that if they want that to be a real thing, there's a player they should go after, and that's DeAndre Hopkins. They should be the team to land DeAndre Hopkins. The Chiefs is probably the slam dunk. The Chiefs is probably the one you think about. They need another number 2, maybe even a number 1. Help out Kadarius Toney. It's Patrick Mahomes. You can get guys who take less to go to Kansas City Chiefs. They seem like the slam dunk, but the Bills would be the spot that would give me more energy about Buffalo if they landed DeAndre Hopkins. And then number 8, the 49ers. Like Ryan said, I think Seattle's going to be a comparable team all year long. They'll be battling it out. I don't know who's going to win between the two. But I'm going to just give just a small edge just because of how much Sam Darnold has around him on both sides. That defense, they just picked up arguably the best defensive player for that Philadelphia Eagles team last year. And Jason Hargraves, he's now with the 49ers on top of Nick Bosa, on top of Armstead, on top of what they have out there. So just too much on both sides, Ryan. CMC, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo. It's a deep team.
It's all good, man. Both lists were great. I'm going to put mine out tomorrow.
Looking forward to that.
Troy Aikman, by the way, had some good stuff to say today.
Hey, look, don't you mention Troy Aikman on the show. You know how I feel about Troy Aikman. Get Troy out of here.
You know I love Troy.
And look, I think he's done. I don't think Tom Brady's going to play, but it just does feel like it's setting up for it. Doesn't it?
It does, but here's the
not
downside.
gonna. I know he's not gonna play. I know that.
Right.
But because you know he wants to, that's the difference.
Yeah.
He wants to play. The only reason Tom Brady is not coming back to the NFL right now is because he doesn't want to be that guy. So not wanting to be that guy of retiring, unretiring. And Troy Aikman said he would not be surprised if Tom Brady was playing in 2023.
But if you go on and listen to his comments, he basically says the only way he could do that is he would have to give up his ownership stake. And that's not officially his yet because the NFL owners have to agree to it because he did have a minority share of the Raiders. Mark Davis offered it to him like he did with his Las Vegas Aces of the WNBA. Yeah. So if he becomes an owner of the Raiders, he'd have to give that up to play. I just don't see it, although I think he'd be terrific playing with the Raiders. I mean, why the hell not? And
Again,
to replace Jimmy Garoppolo on top of that, I think would be hilarious.
If you just catch it up, Jimmy Garoppolo did not pass his physical, and they have, a week or so?
No, I think they got more time
or
than
maybe
that.
July 1st or, to decide whether or not they want to
they could rescind his contract
with
and not
no
lose
penalty.
a penny.
With no
Yes.
penalty whatsoever
lose a
because
penny.
Jimmy G did not pass his physical. And then, yes, you do have Tom Brady there as your owner. Like I said, Bray, I think he wants to play, but because of the optics of it, I just don't think he will.
Put up the Bet Online statistics next, guys, on who will be the next Raiders quarterback, and that falls under the Jimmy G category.
There you go.
There are
2 to
your
1
odds right now, and look who's the favorite.
2 to 1 odds, Tom Brady.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. That just means what people are voting. A bunch of people went in there today and they placed a bet on what Tom Brady can do. Oh man, I bet Tom.
I'm just making conversation.
I'm just making conversation too. I'm just telling you my thoughts on it. I'm conversating too. Why would you conversate this conversation? Why I conversate? Why I'm just putting it out there to make conversation. I am too. At the end of the day, Tom Brady wouldn't do this. Tom Brady's not coming back yet again. And why wouldn't he? I mean, yeah, he had a good year last year. But he played on a terrible team. Tom's over. Tom's done. Like, Tom wants to make that next move. He's got a lot of money waiting on him. He's trying to take that next part in the journey. Until he dissociates himself with the NFL in terms of playing and being on teams, he won't be able to go forward in life.
Teddy Bridgewater is still out there. He's 12 to 1 odds on this list. He hasn't signed yet.
He doesn't want to play either, though.
If he wants
he
to,
doesn't want to play either.
You don't think he wants to start
I don't think
somewhere?
he wants to play anywhere.
Really?
I just don't.
They have Aiden O'Connell, who they drafted out of Purdue. He's 7 to 1 to play. I don't think the Raiders are rebuilding. I mean, if they are, there's going to be a pissed off receiver there. I can tell you that for sure.
For as hungry for quarterbacks as this league is, it'll pay all kinds of money. If Teddy Bridgewater wanted to play, if he wanted to be on a roster, he would. Maybe he wants to come in and see if there's a Brock Purdy type situation. Somebody gets hurt. Maybe he comes in, but he doesn't want to play.
It's not about not wanting to play. You just get tired of being in a role that you never saw yourself in. Teddy Bridgewater was a stud at Louisville. Teddy Bridgewater beat Florida his last year in that bowl game. Had a tremendous bowl game. Comes in, has a tremendous first season. 2 with the Minnesota Vikings. Has that horrific injury. It's just been a struggle for him to get back. He had 2 years off for the injury. He comes back. Now he's bouncing around for filling in for players here. There he goes to Denver. Okay, you get back up here for a little bit. Oh, you get the starting job. Carolina, you can do the same. New Orleans. You just get tired of being on that roster where it's like, all right, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry, good. It's just funny. You look up and everybody's looking down on their phone. I was, oh shit, who am I talking to?
Talking to the audience. I was just writing a group chat.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, we're going to take a break. Come right back. Pat McAfee's deals are out. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
One of the guys that really brought digital sports talk to the forefront is Pat McAfee. Perhaps nobody's done it better. What he's been able to do with his show changed the game. It changed the way sports talk is consumed. He got in first, he got in early, and he got some big names on his show too. Aaron Rodgers kind of made it mainstream where he's getting millions of views on his stuff.
I wonder if does he pay? You think he pays him?
It's a great question. Yeah. It's a great question.
I know they're buddies.
Yeah.
And Aaron probably gets a kick at it doing it. And he usually does it on a Tuesday, and that's a day off for the players. I don't know.
You know, one of the things about Rodgers doing that type of media is the platform. Nobody's editing it.
Right.
Nobody is. So he's able to get his voice out.
Yes.
Anything that he wants to say is just there.
Would you do it for free, Braylon?
Are we? Look, with Aaron Rodgers and Pat McAfee?
Yeah.
100%, because he controls what comes out. It's his spin. You say, hey, I don't mind working with you on Mondays or whatever it is, Tuesdays. I don't mind doing the show with you, Pat. But when I come on there, like, don't edit anything I say. Like, this is strictly a conversation between us. We can put it out there. I can distort what I say to the media on Sundays after the game or Monday. I can save those takes for this show, and it gets that message out there. Hell yeah, I do it for free. Plus, they're super cool. Aaron Rodgers is one of those individuals. Like, if he rock with you, he's not gonna charge you for anything, because he only has, his group is this tight, is that tight. So I think he does it for free, and I think he controls his narrative. He gets it all out there. Everything that he said, everything that's been questionable, he's been able to go on there and say exactly how he felt about him. Now, whether you listened and still didn't like the guy, he at least was able to get his message out there, and you would at least be able to hear it. So yeah, I would do it for free.
Did we put the tweet up yet of what he's making?
So the deals,
what he's losing,
yeah,
actually?
The deals are out. So FanDuel signed him to a 5-year, $120 million deal. Or excuse me, a 4-year deal with FanDuel for $120 million over 4 years. I'm saying that wrong. $120 million over 4 years
That's 30 a
with
year.
FanDuel. ESPN is reportedly signing him to a 5-year, $85 million deal.
Way
so
less.
more years, less money to go be on ESPN.
He's not even making 20 a year. He was making 30. Now he's making, I don't know, do the math,
18?
less than 20.
I guess I don't know what the
There's got to be a kicker to this.
what the decision is there, you know. And I've heard so much about paying his staff. Like with the FanDuel deal, maybe he pays his own staff. Well, you got an extra $35 million to do that.
Yeah, I think we get caught up in the numbers so much sometimes. It's like, oh, 125 and 85. Why would you not take 120 versus 85? I think we don't look at the full package. I think one of the biggest reasons why he took it, he just had a kid a year ago, spending more time with his kid too. When you own something, Like, we don't own Woodward Sports. Like, I don't own this network. I come in, I do my job, and I go home. Like, I don't want to have to do graphics. I don't want to have to necessarily worry about the TD situation or the music or this or going on location and keeping relationships with getting on guests or being in charge for bringing in guests. And how do we keep it funky? Because Aaron Rodgers is going to run his course at some point. You're going to need somebody else and another saga to fill and keep things fresh and keep content new. When you work with ESPN, yeah, you're taking a big hit pay-wise, but you're basically just coming in and doing your show. ESPN has an unlimited role, a clientele of guests, etc. It keeps it fresh, and eventually, if you see where the direction of media is going, streamcast, like Pat McAfee is kind of like that wave of the future. He's kind of like the new thing, right? Well, at some networks, eventually guys take over. Right now, the guy at the network, Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith and Mike Greenberg, the guys at the network. But where it's going, Pat McAfee could be the brand in the whole ESPN network, and it may make more money later on down the line to do less work. I think it's all about the work he's putting in. He might be exhausted because everybody, Pat McAfee, he's doing game day, he's doing this, he's doing WrestleMania, he's appealing to everybody on Twitter, he's trying to make everybody laugh. At some point that runs its course and you're tired as hell. And I guarantee you he's tired.
He has a big staff.
Yeah.
So if he's making $30 million from FanDuel, and you know he's making other stuff too. He's making other appearance fees as well. All the other stuff he does. ESPN's paying him on top of that for game day. Yeah. WWE is paying him. You know, whatever the hell. Is it WWE?
ESPN bought him out of that contract.
I'm just saying. He had so much other income coming. Him paying his staff, I don't think that's a pimple on his butt. That's nothing. I still can't believe that he gave that up to do that. I don't know where the hook is here.
If you own a business,
he owned his thing. He had it.
I'm curious. Like, I'm trying to just think as a business owner, because that's what he is now. He's not a football player. He's a business owner. Right. He owns his own business. Like, what the benefit to selling your business for less money? I mean, you pay people to do that graphic stuff, and you pay 20 Tom Mazaways to get.
But it's still on you. Like, you're the head of that. You're the CEO of that operation. You're the CEO of that business. Like, when you're in charge, everything falls through you. Everything is
he has people.
I understand you have people, but it's your thing. It's your thing. You got to keep the ideas fresh. You got to keep the thing rolling. You got to keep people tuned in. What's going to drive the narrative? Keep the stream coming and keep everybody vested. And what you do at some point, that stuff gets old. At some point, that stuff gets boring.
Maybe he did get in over his head.
That's a real thing.
I mean, maybe he did get in over his head, and he wanted to, like, just give up a little bit. You know what I mean? Give a little power back. You know, I mean, I don't know, because I just don't know too many people who own a business who would ever work for somebody else.
Time.
If you have a say.
You have more time, because who owns ESPN? Disney. Now you got TV. Now you got movie deals. Now you're doing voiceovers. Now you're doing all types of commercials. Now you're doing other things that Disney. They got a huge studio down there in Florida, and they got tons of game shows, tons of TVs, tons of animation, all that stuff. Maybe he saw the bigger picture.
Maybe.
And also, he still can work less.
Well, look at Greeny. Greeny works around the clock.
Yeah.
Now he does. He does, though, but his kids are older now. When his kids were in school, he did that morning show.
And he hosted that great game, Duel. I loved the game show.
Yeah, but he did that recently when his kids got out of college. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, when he was my age, he's just doing the radio.
Now he does the NBA
6 to 10, and that's
he does it. But he does everything.
Yeah,
he's working more now than he did in the past.
It's all cyclical.
Well, it's called wanting to make more money. That's what it's called.
It's true, but sometimes you want to hang out with the big boys. Like, sometimes you want to be with the big boys, and when you hang with the big boys, big boy things come with that. And I think that's how it's looking. I can work less to hang with the big boys, and more things will come to my door, knock on my door, make moves, etc. That 85 or that what is it, 35 million, how it looks right now, that 35 million will come right back very soon for the line he's in. He's always on TV. He's funny. He's fresh. What he's doing, that 35 will come back to him quick. It's like Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos had to give up $34 billion in the settlement. He made $32 billion in the market the day he had to do that. It's going to come back to him.
And YouTube paid him on top of everything.
Well, yeah, I wonder about his audience, and he even came back the next day after this deal was announced and was like, I am surprised at the backlash that my fans have given me over this, because I think that's a part of it too. You're like, his fans, I don't think, and again, What do I friggin' know? I watch him when Aaron Rodgers is on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, to be honest with you, but what do I know? I just read the stuff.
Remember we were watching the chat that day, how many people that they had
Right.
on? You think ESPN's getting that number at that
That's
time
the
of the
problem.
day?
I just read the stuff.
They're
Like,
not.
they don't want him on ESPN. Like, if you listen to a podcast or a digital show, you don't want them on traditional stuff. Like you just don't. You don't want to see us on the radio. You don't want to see Drew and Mike back on the radio. You don't want to see Bill Maher's podcast on HBO. You want that thing to be totally digital.
It's like a cult following.
It
Like,
is.
I think
it's like their own show.
That's absolutely right.
When it's a cult deal, you like the cult deal. You don't want to be with the traditional deal. You can ask JB about this one. People that like AEW typically solely like AEW and not WWE.
Right.
Because AEW feels like their own
Exactly.
thing. It's ours.
Yes.
It's our cult following.
You hit it on the head.
AEW, 100%, whereas WWE just feels like big broadcasting,
Exactly.
especially since they sold
That's
to
ESPN.
Fox. 100%. So that makes a lot of sense to why the fans wouldn't like. I get that.
Take a break. Come right back. Hopefully a Tigers victory.
Oh, we hope so.
But first, a message from Randy Wise.
All right, let's get it, man. What can be better than watching celebrities like Braylon and D-Mac play golf? I'll tell you.
Golf.
You can play by yourself and be one of those guys. That's right. That's right. Do it. Stop at any Randy Wise dealership for your chance to play golf like a celebrity. VIP transportation. That's right. Free golf to one of Michigan's best tracks and a tasty steak afterwards. Compliments of fairway packing. Make the wise decision. Get to a Randy Wise dealership today for your chance to win.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
I told you, that's right.
I haven't heard I told you.
Hey,
in a
welcome
long
back.
time.
WoodwardSports.com. Final segment of the show. And Braylon, I just want to reiterate kind of what you said there. AEW is Pat McAfee. WWE is
ESPN. And what it represents. Yeah.
And
with commercials.
And WWE fans will mess with AEW.
For sure.
But AEW fans will not mess with WWE. And that is the best analogy you will hear on this Pat McAfee to ESPN situation. Absolutely.
I still don't get it.
Yeah.
I guess I will eventually when he's a game show host or when he's doing NFL Tonight and stuff like that. I guess that's when I'll get it.
The great part about the great part about it, Tom Mazawey, is people like you and me don't have to get it.
No, we don't. I just know this. I'm probably not going to turn on ESPN during the mornings.
Yeah.
I don't watch them. You know what I watch? I watch Twitter.
NFL Network.
And I watch Twitter. And whatever they put on
Replay
Twitter.
of the game of the
whatever,
week from
whatever
week
cuts
4.
they put on Twitter.
Right.
Give me a minute, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. That's what I'm watching. I'm not watching the whole show.
Let me ask you something, Madison. This is quick. This is whatever. So if someone offers you for what you do now,
I'll take it.
You weren't supposed to take it so fast, but that's fine. But yeah, if somebody,
I pulled a Kramer.
If somebody offered you $100,000 versus, I was trying to do an analogy versus like 85, but it's like way less work. Like for what you do now, it's $100,000 for what you do exactly right now.
Yeah.
See, I feel like ESPN will be more work. Though. That's where I disagree with you too. I feel like ESPN will be more work because it'll be on every show. all hours.
They're all
going to
be hitting them. They're all going to be tapping.
I think he's got the plan in place. He's like, look, I'm not coming to do everybody's show. I'm not coming to be one of those guys that does the rounds. And I can't even think where it used to be now, because now they're in Seaport in New York. I'm not coming to do the rounds. Blah blah. I'm doing my show. And then you got to think about this. ESPN, you don't have to be in Bristol anymore. You don't have to be in Seaport. They can build his studio and build his set wherever he wants.
I have friends in radio business that never go to the radio station. Yeah. Never. And you don't know it because they have a great backdrop. They have their own little home studio. That's the wave of the future. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I prefer, everyone kumbaya in the same place, coming in and out. I got to go to ESPN back in 2000.
Yeah.
And I got to visit it, the campus and all, and I was like enthralled. I was an original ESPN guy.
Sure.
Yeah. And you know what? As the years have progressed, I've just fallen out of love with it. It's not the first channel I always put on anymore. I usually put on MLB Network first thing because I'll usually have a game on. And from there, I'll go and, if there's no playoffs, that's where I'll start. If there's playoffs, I'm starting there. But I don't turn it on anymore to watch these shows. And the sports centers, I don't watch. I watch Scott Van Pelt at night if I'm up to it. If I feel like it, or if I had my fill of everything, I'm just watching Seinfeld or something. I just don't tune it in anymore. Yeah. But I'm always on Twitter, and I'm always following. I'm on top of my sports, but I do it on Twitter.
They have gone final at Comerica Park. Yes! The Detroit Tigers get a win.
That's a win of a series.
Absolutely.
One of three is a win of a series.
I know. You know what? Coming into this series, I said just get one game against these guys. Second best team in the major leagues, the Texas Rangers are. The Tigers do get a win. They are now 26-28 on the year.
All right, there you go.
1.5 games back of the Minnesota Twins. The Twins with 27 losses. They play later tonight against the Astros.
The Astros will take care of business.
When I was a kid, one of my favorite places to go with my family or with my friends on the weekends, right down the street, it's the batting cage. Now, with all these guys getting injured for the Tigers, I think I'm going out the batting cage because 26-28, man, they might need my services.
You got your jersey still.
That's why I can still fit it.
Break it out.
No doubt.
Gotta take a deep breath.
No doubt. Okay, that makes us feel a little bit better. Tigers now go on the road to face the Chicago White Sox.
Take out the trash.
You no kidding. Win a series. Don't even have to get a sweep. Just win a series.
Yep.
Win a series. 3 games. 3 games over the weekend.
By
Friday,
the way,
Saturday,
Aaron Judge
Sunday.
is just continuing to hit home runs. He's ahead of last year's pace.
He started off slow last year. If I remember, his first home run wasn't until the 19th game. He hit one on opening day this year.
He's ahead.
Yeah, he's the judge.
He is a man.
You guys bring us home the next 2 days. I'm going to go hit those links.
Well, you break us down then.
Oh, yeah.
You break us down.
Mikey Gentry, Parker.
JB.
Parker Brown, baby. Parker Brown.
Downtown.
My guy, Jeremy Bryan over there. Tom Mazawey. And my brother from another mother, Braylon Edwards. Thanks to you for watching Woodward Sports. Tell a friend about us. We're having some fun. Tuck coming. We'll see you on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you pull that from?